Guys, Chris Murphy here. I want to do a video today to talk about how bringing awareness and using meditation can help overcome different areas of addiction. And addictions could be, it's not necessarily alcohol, drugs, smoking. It could be working too hard. It could be eating obsessively. It could be eating unhealthy. It could just be anything that consciously you're not really aware of. And I want to talk about my thoughts on it, and I think over time how the likes of meditation has helped massively, because it's just to help bring a lot more awareness to what actually I'm doing, and I'm more in touch with your body and how it feels. And I think versus traditionally in self-help as well, it's quite forced, quite a lot of willpower of, give up smoking, or eat healthy, do juicing, and it goes quite intense, and it will, in a way, you might go in some sort of program where you'll force yourself not to do it. And although these things can definitely be good and you will learn a lot from them, it may not undo the underlying cause of the problem. So example one might be with smoking, or someone who might have a drinking problem. And then maybe people saying like, oh, you've got to have a why, you've got to have a reason for giving it up. How about your daughter? How does she feel? It's so much. It's okay to say that, and it's a good technique. However, from the lights of meditation and bringing more awareness to what you're actually doing, more in touch with your body, you can actually start to think and look around, and you go, oh, okay, how's this actually making me feel? How do I feel in my body after drinking alcohol? How about my daughter, my loved ones, what do they think? Oh, okay, I'm aware of what I'm actually doing now, the people I'm hurting, I care about these people. And it's more easy to come up than sheer force. So sometimes if there is some sort of, you're feeling guilty, maybe you eat obsessively, or you do drink a lot, don't force yourself too much, and don't worry too much about wanting to make a dramatic change. Just a simple technique of meditating and bringing awareness to that. And one thing on meditating as well is that it's typical that a lot of people do, say, 10 minutes a day or 10 minutes in the morning, and that's great. I was speaking to my friend Sam, and he's well into the way of doing it 4 hours a day now. And after I did a Vipassana 10-day silent retreat, they recommend you do at least, you do a couple of hours a day, and an hour in the morning, an hour in the evening. And if you've not done this already, I highly encourage you just to at least try for a day, a couple of days, even a week, and just see if you notice a difference. If you don't notice a difference, then don't do it. But you'll notice a significant difference. That's why I think a retreat in meditation or a Vipassana is a very good idea, because you at least can binge in it and see the true benefits. Whereas perhaps doing it 10 minutes a day, you might think, okay, I feel a bit more relaxed, I feel better in the morning, and then you start to overthink again. Because overall it is, and I can say this doing this video today, because I did a good 2.5 hours already, and it's about lunchtime of meditating, and I noticed so much more of a difference. I'm walking around here in nature. I'm in TT Lake in Nepal, and I was literally just sat staring at the lake for about 40 minutes or so, and just not even any real thoughts coming into my head. I know it's like that for a lot of things when you see something that looks quite amazing, and of course there's the mountains and everything around here, and you might not have that in your everyday environment, like I didn't most of the time in London. And it's okay. You can just, as long as you can meditate, you can bring awareness to different things. So my advice in this video wouldn't be to simply just force yourself to quit some sort of something you might feel you're addicted to. Maybe it's even working, because I would say that the most recent one for me was towards the start of the year, was working. I was working too much. I was working more than I was in my 9-to-5 job, and I don't think it was a case of just earning more money. Of course, sometimes the more you work, the more money you can make, but sometimes, in my case, it wasn't necessarily the case. I was at full capacity in what I was doing, and then a lot of time was being wasted by checking emails, checking Facebook. So what meditation and bringing awareness to actually made me aware of that. And for example, with alcohol, and that's something I probably drank a lot back 5-6 years ago. And over personal development, sort of my time period, that stopped. Although I would say maybe over the last year or so, in a way I've kind of cut it out, not completely, but if I do drink, I literally would only have a couple of drinks maximum now, because I'm aware of what happens to my body, and the next day, you feel it. And for example, when you're doing something like this, when you're out here and you're trekking, like I'm doing at the moment, you can't really afford to do that, because if you've got a hangover the next day, you can't do it. So it's just bringing awareness. One thing as well, pornography as well, which can be one where which is obviously a big addiction for a lot of men. And it's just bringing awareness to what you're doing. I was given this tip from one guy I ran into in Nepal, and he said with stuff like that, just don't worry about. You can focus on your meditation, on bringing awareness, and stuff like that will naturally drop off, because it's very much a mind-controlled addiction. All addictions are pretty much, or are, in mind, if you really think about it. If you think about it, if you want to keep eating junk food, of course maybe you start having some sugar, or you have a chocolate bar, and then the craving kicks in for more and more, and that's obviously what's happening, but it's triggered from the mind. And if you can just at least bring awareness to that, it's a great way to cut it back. And I know there's like rehab and a lot of things for drug addictions and things like that, and I think meditation awareness is really key. We watched this documentary on Vipassana, and they introduced meditation into prisons. And what a key thing that was doing actually was it was making people aware of what they'd done wrong. So people go to prison, and then a lot of criminals who go to prison straight away come back out, and then they commit the same crimes. However, what this was doing was it was making them become aware of what they'd done wrong internally, because it's hard for people sometimes to relate to them on that level, because maybe in prison they're treated like they're scum, and if there was something like that, which was great, it was introduced in India, and they were just basically aware of what they were doing. They were like, oh my god, this is what we were doing, this is what I've done wrong. And some people do find that naturally through meditation. Sean Atwood, who did a talk, he was in jail for a while, he did a talk for me, and it was just his realizations were very much very deep spiritual realizations, and in a way sitting to reflect and how you can become a better person. But with some people, it's just not in their mindset, and you're just not aware. It's like when you're addicted to something, you can't bring full awareness to that. So the amazing benefits of meditation, and meditation is the tool, it's the solution. Of course, all this other stuff, like I'm telling you now, is great and it's good advice. However, if you can get to a point where you just completely trust yourself and everything that you're doing, I'm at the moment is just dropping more and more stuff. And for example, I used to read a lot and have notebooks and write stuff down, but the more awareness I'm bringing to that now is trusting my own intellect, like I'm sharing with you guys now, not needing to keep writing stuff down. And the more awareness I was bringing to that, is in a way I was kind of attached to it, and at some points maybe addicted to it. And when you're reading a book or writing stuff down all the time, even when people come into you and start interacting, it's like I'm sometimes was like, no, leave me alone, like go away. Or people be talking to me or be watching, I'd be with my family, maybe they'd be watching TV, and I'd just be there reading a book, and I'd be completely obsessed in the book. Of course we do that with TV as well, but it's good to then take breaks away from that, realize what you're doing. A lot of TV, for example, is unconscious, but what I found with reading and writing stuff down, it can be as well. So just experiment with it, and this is all about feeling more free, more freedom. So that's my advice for today. Put that into practice. I will see you very soon.